Welcome back to Purdum Projects. Today we've got a four-wheeler, so that's fun. Customer said, hey, I got a four-wheeler that doesn't do four-wheeler things. Can you make it do four-wheeler things? I thought for a second, I can do that. And that's all I know. So now that we're up to speed, bring y'all in and show you what I'm working with. So I have no clue the year, the make, the model, if it's gas, if it's battery powered. I mean, I know for one thing, it looks like a basketball or Spider-Man. Maybe it's supposed to be Spider-Man playing basketball. I don't know. But I'm hoping it's something simple. But you never know, the motor could be locked up, so we'll see what surprises are in store for us today. I'm gonna get this thing unstrapped, and then I guess we just need to look at it and see what in the world I'm getting myself into. You know, you got to use the strongest ratchet straps in the world for toy lawnmower, or toy four-wheelers, I mean, whatever this is. I don't know, it could be a lawnmower. You could cut grass with this. Just do a bunch of donuts. Yeet! Right. Oh, and you know, if I get this thing going, I'm gonna try it out. Suspension's there. All right. There's the seat come off. How do you come off of here, huh? Not easy, I see. It was easy. Okay, nothing under there, so I think I want to take this body off just to see what in the world this thing is made out of. I think I want to do the normal. Check the gas, check the oil. I don't even know if it's got a battery in it. Definitely a gas powered race four-wheeler. Fuel shut off. Oh, here's the battery. I'm gonna check that first, because why not? Four-wheeler stuff. This is what the cool kids do. That's why I haven't been doing it then. Let's see. 10 voltages. So it is a little low. Probably need to put that on the battery charger, because that's the first step working on anything apparently. It should at least turn over though. Fuel. I wonder if there's a kill switch of some sort. Well, that's not good. Apparently there's a keyhole, and I don't have a key. So let me see if I can find a key. That would be a good place to start. So there's no key for this little girl, but don't you worry. Where there's a mechanical key, that here is an electrical key. So I got the ignition hot. Now I think I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna take this body off. It's not spinning over, so I don't know if it's an electrical connection at the solenoid or starter, but it's gonna be way easier for me to get this body off of here. That way I can see what I'm doing. Things have escalated quickly. Maybe this video should be about how to ruin an already broke lawnmower, four-wheeler. How to ruin your four-wheeler a little bit more. So now that I got the body off, it's pretty easy. Just simple little Torx bolts around the perimeter. Take your handlebars off, and now I have full access to see how much damage I can do. So probably one of the first things I noticed is this right here. So this is where the fuse is supposed to go. It's like a fusible link glass fuse, and that's not there. So that's a little concerning. Either it blew and somebody was just like power, or it broke at some point and they rigged it up. So I'm going to make a new style blade fuse, fusible link, just for safety. Even though I may not be safe, I want my customers to be safe. So I'm going to do that so I know I've got a fuse in here somewhere in case I get a little crazy with the wiring. I've got this to save me from really burning up a lot of wiring. And then I can start diagnosing the no crank issue. So I know for a fact it doesn't spin over by the switch. Battery's got like 10 volts in it. So I'm gonna verify all my wiring and electrical connections to make sure I got a good base before I start poking and prodding around and testing and see if I can get this little girl to start up, or at least turn over, and then we'll go from there. Right. So if you're in a pinch, what I like to do is take a blade style fuse and a couple of these blade terminals, put them together like so. You can make a quick down and dirty fusible link. That's exactly what I'm gonna do here, just to make sure, you know, I don't burn the four-wheeler down. I'm gonna be extra as normal. Put a little heat shrink. A little heat shrink. You can buy these kits pretty cheap on the interwebs. I paid like 10 bucks for that. It's got like 6 billion or something heat shrink tube things in it. This on. Get on there. Don't be afraid. That time comes later. Clamp it down. Yeah. Probably should have got a little bit bigger size. Too late now. Good there. I thought I was. You want to do this right beside the battery. It's not smart. If you don't have one of these, get one. 16 bucks or something. You can thank me later. We'll just make them look uniform, because if we're all wrong, then we're all right. If we're all wrong, then we're all right. Sometimes it's smarter to make sure you've got a baseline on what you're working on. Make sure the battery has proper voltage. Make sure your safety factors are in place. You don't want to keep bouncing around. You want to know your basics are good. Got a fuse in. Main power wire looks good. And now, if you wanted to, you can take that up. For right now, I'm gonna leave it open because we're nowhere near done on the electrical side of this. But now I know, hey, I've got fusible link. That's gonna blow first. I hope anyway. So now I got that in place. Start narrowing things down. Got a positive ground with about 10 volts. That should be enough just to see if it spins over. That's reverse. That's neutral. Right. Multimeter over here. Hide my electrical key in this loom here so it doesn't ground anywhere. You can pretty much figure anything out electrical with a multimeter and a test light. Cheapest ones possible, Walmart or Harbor Freight. Don't go crazy. Baseline the battery. 10.63. That'll work. At the fuse. .63. Other side. 10.63. Okay. So we know that's good. Now the fun begins. What in the world does any of this do? That's a box fan. Something that concerns me is this random loose wire here. Gotta figure out what that does. I'm gonna open it up just to see. So it's a solid core wire. Which tells me it probably goes in this box now. I'm gonna see if it's powered up or not. You never know. It's not a power wire. This is a ground wire, which could be important. What I don't know is if it goes in this box or where in the world it goes. I think what I want to do is hook my ignition wire back up. Pretty sure the picture for ignition on is red to black. So I'll put that up. reverse. That's neutral. Okay, still dead. So now, look at this solenoid here. I want to see that I've got power coming in on one side, which I do. Okay, so okay, so that's the load on the starter. Typically you could jump these. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I hear something clicking. Could it be a bad starter? I don't know. Let's whack on it. See if that did anything. Okay. So by me bypassing that, should be the same as me hitting the ripple switch here. I believe. Okay, so theoretically that should have spun the motor over. Let's get the multimeter out. See how much is that the solenoid. 10.2. Okay. Oops. Okay, so nothing there. Let's see when I hit the switch. If I get any pull, I'm getting nothing. Let's see, when I jump it. This battery maybe about had it. Or maybe my multimeter's about had it. Okay, dropping in volts pretty quick, but that's a good static reading. Okay, about the same there. wonder if we have a bad solenoid. Because if there was a wiring issue with the switch, when I jumped that solenoid, it should have lit that starter up. The fact that it didn't is a little bit concerning. Around there. No, it's not a neutral switch. Ignition wired. Fill switch disengaged. When I jumped the solenoid, I'm really wanting to see battery voltage at the starter. And I'm just not seeing that. Getting quite a bit of weird stuff going on. Next thing we could do is, you know, the starter's grounded, so we could try to put 12 volts direct to the starter. See if that thing spins around. Make a jumper wire. Oh, wise and powerful jumper wire. Yep, that'll be just dangerous enough. Do something. I like using my good wire, but I'm too lazy to go get my bad wire. That's way too long. At least I can wrap it around the terminal, make this end shorter. I said I was. Okay, here. Time to do some sketchy stuff. Time to do some sketchy stuff. I love sketchy stuff. Poke her down here. Okay, that's weird. The starter isn't doing anything. It's a little concerning. Are you bad? There's some main ground there. That green goes to the ignition. Could we have a bad starter? Or could we just have a battery that's too low to do anything? Interesting. I'm thinking just based off basic process of elimination. There's always trains through here. Gathering based off basic process of elimination. I'm pretty sure the starter is no bueno because I bypassed the solenoid, which is all this thing is. It's me doing this except more fancy. I may take it out, see if I can clean it, test it in like a bench style scenario. Just start baselining if the starter even works. If the starter does work, then we'll backtrack the solenoid. Right now I'm just trying to get this motor to spin over. That would be nice. Alright, so I slept on it. Decided to do what I should have done is charge the battery up and retested the solenoid, and the motor did spin over. So I should have listened to my own rules. Charge your battery up. 10.62 was not enough to turn this little itty bitty motor over. That makes sense on a 12 volt system. So I verified the starter solenoid here. She's good. Starter, she's good too. We'll see if the battery's good, if it holds up or what, but I did verify, you know, my expert rigging over here. Red and black together, I know that's a cardinal sin, but that's the way this ignition works. That's ignition hot, and then still got nothing out of the switch here. So I took my little, where'd it go? Did I lose that? Here we go. Took this little doohickey here, bent it up, disconnected the main plug for the switch harness, jumped these two middle terminals, which I think is like green and red and yellow. I don't know, it's Chinese. And the motor did spin over. So I know from here down, the wiring is good, and this switch, no bueno. So I'm gonna take it apart and see if it's just dirty maybe. But I verified that now the motor spins over everything short of the switch, or by everything short of the switch. So now I know they got a switch problem. I'm gonna try to fix that before I move forward to fuel, air, and spark. So Crush said, good job, thanks buddy. So I'm gonna take this little switch apart and see maybe if it's dirty. burnt, broken, if there's no more electrical fairies in there that are not doing their job. So we'll see what we find. Okay, so here's all the guts out of, where'd the rest of it go? Out of the switch block here. There's the rest of it. Now, don't let this stuff scare you. I mean, I've obviously never worked on this exact model, but just jump into it, figure it out. Look how rusty all this is. You know, these little four-wheeler toys and others like it, they sit outside and they just get rained and weathered. So I guarantee you, we'll clean up those little contacts in there and she's gonna come back to life. I mean, this switch probably is 10-15 bucks, but I kind of find enjoyment in saving some of this. And the wiring looks good. It's just, you know, it's been moist a time or two. So I'm gonna clean this up probably with some brake cleaner and maybe a file and test this outside the vehicle and see, because I know if I jump these two wires at the other end of this pigtail, the motor spins over. So that's going to be our problem area. So I cleaned all this up, and I guess she's just tired. So I'm going to buy a new one. Now, if this was for me, I'd rig this little Larry up and make my own switch. Same for the headlights, but this is for a younger man, so I would like for it to be safe and as correct and factory as possible. Unless this is like 50 bucks, then yeah, we're gonna rig it up. But I don't know. I jumped these two wires here and it lit up, but it lit up. I don't know if this contact pad in here is just so bad. I mean, I scrubbed it with sandpaper and hit it with some brake cleaner, but I guess we'll let it be and try to order a new one. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to fuel, spark, and all the other stuff that makes magic happen in internal combustion engines, and we'll see what else is wrong with this little girl before I make an order, because I'm ready to tear this little thing up. So I pulled this hose off here, figure out which way the valve is. This is closed, that's open. It is getting fuel to the carburetor. So now I'm gonna pull the spark plug out, see what it looks like. I gotta dig the cap out of there, see how that looks, and I'm gonna hook the ignition back up, make sure this coil here is getting power, and then we'll see if this little girl comes to life. Alright, so she runs very poorly though. I'm thinking the carburetor has seen better days. I couldn't record this because I had all 6 of my hands rigging stuff up between modulating choke, throttle, brake fluid into the carb, and hot wiring the starter button there. So did get to hear her light up, so that's enough for me. I think now I'm gonna pull the carburetor out, probably clean the gas tank, and just get her all nice and back going. I imagine it's just full of gunk. It started up for a second and then just died, and I couldn't keep it running. So I think it's a fuel delivery issue at this point. So I got the carburetor out, as well as the fuel tank, which that gas looked thick. I'm not even so sure it was gas. So we're going to take this little puppy and rebuild it. And basically, I mean, just take it apart, clean it, and put it back on, because it actually looks really clean, but I'm thinking the jet is either clogged or this thing's just full of gunk, because it would run off starting fluid, but not the gas that was in the tank. So we'll fix that. So pretty sure that's water. And if you're wondering, gasoline engines don't run on water. I know. Surprising, huh? So let's clean that out. I think that's all this thing's gonna need. It's got some really nice like O-ring style gaskets. I don't even think I'm gonna have to replace them. I'll never get that lucky. Alright, so she's brand new. Super easy to rebuild. I really like this design here. It's meant to be rebuilt, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. So now that I cleaned the water off of it and the nasty glue looking substance in the bowl, let's put it back on. Got the carburetor clean, reinstalled. Gas tank, I cleaned all the chocolate milk out of it. I'm not sure why it looked like chocolate milk, but it did. So I'm gonna get some more fuel line, a new fuel filter, and I gotta reorder that switch because remember it's bad. And then should be able to rip and tear in this little girl. So we'll order some parts and hopefully in a couple days we'll get this little girl back together and have some fun. Back on the four-wheeler day 3. Got some fresh gas. Got a new starter switch here. And the ignition, you know, I had to get a new key ignition cylinder because this thing doesn't have a key. And I ordered one of them and 2 showed up, so that's good. Guess I'll have a spare. A new gasoline filter, new fuel hose. Figured I'd do it right. If you remember, day 2, cleaned the gas tank, cleaned the carburetor, and tidied up a few other things. And today we should be able to hear this little girl come to life with all these new parts. That's the plan anyway. So we're gonna get this on and see if we can have a little fun with it. Use a little bit of grease on this here hose, slide over these fittings just a little bit. The last thing I want to do is break any of these fittings. Come on, wake up. Oh yeah. Listen, you got to work harder and smarter sometimes. Or maybe it's the other way around. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Alrighty, let's make that around here. Go ahead and just bolt the fuel tank in. That seems like a good next step. Listen, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know what came apart must go back together. That looks like a gas tank bolt. It is today. Pretty sure it's just a nut and bolt. How serious can it really be? One of these days I'll have a concrete floor in the shop. I don't have to work on the wet grass. One day. Ow. You too good for your home? go. Now your turn, little buddy. I'm not sure what was in this fuel tank. I'm used to seeing rust, but this one had like chocolate milk in it, which I've never seen corrosion look like chocolate milk before, but I imagine it's a mixture of gas, rust, and water, possibly. Whoever put the zip ties on his four-wheeler wants to watch the world burn. Flush cut them, people. Flush cut them. If not, your hand is going to look like a cat attacked you. All right. Ratchet wrench time. What the heck? Oh, there we go. Ratchet and wrench time. Let's see, not you. Okay, not you. Forgot you were an 8mm flavor. Yeah. Alright, so now we got a snake fuel hose around and through stuff here. Come on. Make sure we got a good flow. Yep. See if scissors will cut this. Oh yeah, they'll cut it. Pay attention on your fuel filters, which direction it flows fuel. Because if you put it on backwards, it's probably not going to start, and you're going to be crawling around your rig for 17 days trying to figure out what's going on. So flow is that way, so it's going to come in, gravity feed, and flow out, which is what it says. So maybe it means what it says what it means. Whew. Definitely way too small. I don't think the lady at the parts store understood what 1/4-inch fuel hose was. But I didn't want to argue with her, because I'd like a tight fit on these gravity flow systems anyway. Come on now, don't break. Probably If I had a lighter out here, maybe heat it up. I don't know if that hurt or helped. Man, this sucker is tight. So I had some issues with the filter. Get out of the way. I just cut the ends off. You can see that. Cut the ends off and put some lube on there. 3/16 line and a 1/4 inch. Nice tight fit. Nice flow from the tank as it tied up. Got the tank full of, you know, actual gasoline. So I'm sure that'll help. I got it ran through here. Let's see if the valve works. Yep, good flow. Plumb that right in. Oh yeah, that looks good. We're gonna let her eat. See the fuel filter filling up. Good clean gas, let the carbo fill up. And then we'll start buttoning the electrical system up, and I want to hear it run. I want it to go in forward gear, reverse gear before I put this body on, because I ain't taking this body off twice. Alright, so got the fuel system buttoned in. This is a weird drain. I don't know if this carburetor is supposed to have a little drain or what, but I put it back just to keep everything factory. We'll keep eye on it when we get it started. Plugged in the new goodies here, the new start switch, the new ignition, so you know nobody steals it. And we're gonna hook the battery up and see if this little girl will talk to us. All right, so what do you know when you buy cheap stuff off Amazon? This one said it's for Coolster, but the blown fuses determined that was a lie. So what it is, I spliced the original connector in with the new switch, color coded the wires. I know this don't look super pretty, but we got good ignition, starter switch, does work. Gotta hit the brake before I turn it on, but it does work, and battery's dead now. So I figured a way to charge that or jump it off before we can get this little girl started up. Are we live? Alright, so we got this little girl going, and we're gonna start it up. So first things first, we got the fuel on, got the choke modulated about where she likes it. We got ignition on, we got boosters go, starboard engines are doing their thing. We're gonna see if it'll fire up.
First of all, you ain't riding without a helmet or your daddy.
Except on that road.
Yeah, no.